Tuesday, people.
Tuesday, Newsday.
Psych, cause it's Taco Tuesday.
What's today?
It's Thursday.
Really? Feels like Tuesday.
Tuesday has no feel. Monday has a feel. Friday has a feel. Sunday has a feel.
I feel Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right, shut up, the both of you.
You're making me nervous.
Hello and welcome to Tuesday Newsday number 20, where our learning goal is to determine two or more central ideas of a text and analyze their development over the course of that text, including how they interact and build on one another. At the end of today's article, you will be asked to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 4 regarding your ability to determine those central ideas. If you're at a 4, that means you can identify the central idea or ideas, the evidence that the author uses to prove his or her point, and how those ideas build on one another. If you're at a 3, that means you can identify the central idea or ideas along with the evidence that the author uses to prove his or her point, but you're not really identifying more than one maybe, or how those ideas build on one another. A 2 means that you can identify the central idea, but you're not so much able to point to the evidence. It's just like showing your work in math. We really want to know that you understand the process. And a 1 means that you are unsure of how to find the central idea. The title of today's article is Why Are Dreams Wacky? Maybe to Help Us Learn and Cope. Written for the Washington Post, adapted by the Newsella staff on the 15th of January. The story begins this way. Dreams are weird. Most of them seem to contain a mixture of familiar faces or places and an absolute mishmash of brain confetti. One minute you're flying through the halls of your school, the next you're riding a roller coaster full of monkeys. So why do our brains produce these nightly hallucinations, which most often occur when we're deep in a kind of sleep known as rapid eye movement or REM? And are dreams good for anything? There are a lot of theories, said Alice Robb, science writer and author of the book Why We Dream. One thing that's happening with dreams is that we're working through anxieties. We're sort of going over and rehearsing things that we're stressed about. Got a big test coming up, a trip to the dentist, get in a fight with a friend. Don't be surprised if your dreams start to echo those ideas, but in bizarre, dreamy ways. The idea that once you've experienced it, you're less afraid of the reality, which is almost always less scary than whatever your brain has cooked up in your sleep, said Rob. Another theory is that your brain uses dreams to assist with learning and creating memories. So your brain is sort of tightening the connections that you've made recently. It's sorting through the memories and figuring out what's going to go into your long-term memory, what's not important, and what we're going to get rid of, said Rob. Interestingly, scientists have found that REM sleep increases when we devote a lot of time to studying something really difficult, such as learning a new language. Rob said that kids are especially good dreamers. Children actually sometimes spend more time of the night dreaming, and actually often have a more intense relationship with their dreams than adults, Rob said. Adults also train themselves to ignore and forget their dreams, said Rob. However, you can reverse that trend by simply paying more attention. Try keeping a dream journal, for instance, as one way to be more conscious of the wacky things that flit through your brain while you're sleeping. This may also help you key into common themes in your dreams that relate to what's going on in your own life. If you want to understand what those dreams mean to you, you have to pay attention to your own patterns. Perhaps flying through the school represents your craving for summer break. Maybe the argument with your friend is your brain's way of preparing you to settle your differences. And the roller coaster ride full of monkeys? Well, that's for you to figure out. Alright, so here we are at the worksheet, identifying the topic that comes through in the title of the article, something that you can identify in your own summarizing the story. I'm interested to see what you all come up with for one sentence, 10 to 12 words. The first and last sentence are easy for you to identify. Just hit rewatch over on the right side there, and you'll be able to go back to those points. What I want to talk to you about is the repeated ideas. The first is why dreams occur. We know this because the author talked specifically about things that happen in your life. She said something about working through our anxieties. What I want you to do with these repeated ideas today, and this might be a little bit different, but I'm asking for this, is to identify a quote that leads to why you chose this topic as a repeated idea. So what quote tells us that the first part is about why dreams occur? And again, I kind of told you, if you go back and find that sentence about anxieties, that will give you your answer. Why dreams occur. The second part was about what's happening in our brains during dreaming and the differences between kids and adults. Again, find a quote. And the third one is keeping track of our dreams to help explain our anxieties and realities. Again, find a quote for each of these repeated ideas, if you would. That would go a long way to helping make sense of and draw the conclusion of what is the main idea of the article. I think at this point, you're able to identify what the main idea of the article is, and so my job is done. Ciao for now. Encore number 1 here. Your question at the right is going to be, how would you rate your ability to determine the central idea of the text according to our scale, the 4, 3, 2, 1 there. Go ahead and decide that right now. Encore number 2 here. This is the main idea of the article. Dreams help us understand our anxieties, and tracking them can help with that process. What did you write down? How close did you come to this being the main idea? What would you change? And what would you add based on what we know from these above questions? How would that shape the main idea of the article?